Good evening and welcome once again to this week's episode of It's My Turn Now. Where once again you get an opportunity to share what's on your mind, let us know what your thoughts are. We're going a little bit different direction on tonight. On tonight, we're talking about basically three different subjects. We have a guest who is going to share with us regarding cancer. It's not actually Cancer Awareness Month right now, but she has an event, and I met her in Indianapolis at the National Pentecostal Assemblies conviction. And so I invited her to come on the program. She emailed me. She was one of the first ones that read my book. A lot of people purchased my newest book, Sexy in the Church. She was one of the first ones that actually read it and gave me a comment. And she shared with me how, when she was on her flight back from Indianapolis, how much she shared the enjoy reading it. And so we had a very good conversation. One of the things I attempt to do on this program is I try to address subjects of important subjects that affect so many people. Cancer awareness is such an important subject. It affects us in so many different ways. So I just thought, after talking with her and she shared with me her program and her upcoming event, and sometimes we wait till the last minute. So I thought I would give her a chance to talk about the program. Plus, also, she's written a book, so I'm going to give her a chance to talk about her book as well. So I'm just glad to have her on here. Uh, each week I try to talk about different subjects. So today I'm going to talk about, like I said, about three different subjects. I'm going to talk about cancer. I'm going to talk about my book, my most recent book, just came out a week before the convention. And then I want to talk about some of the convention highlights for the Pentecostal Assemblies of the world. And those who were there, we had a very wonderful time, very exciting time at the convention. So at this time, I'm going to bring on my guest for tonight, Sister Monica Wright. Welcome to It's My Turn, Monica.
Thank you so much. And it's my turn now.
It's definitely your turn now.
Yes, it is.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a mother, a grandmother, an author, a breast cancer survivor, founder of Dawn of a New Day organization, and a child of God. That's most important. Most important.
So, so you share with us a number of different things that you do. Where would you like to start?
Well, I would like to start talking about my organization for Dawn of a New Day. I know some people think it say Dawn, but it's Daw. It's DAW. It's actually in reference of my mother, Dorothy Ann Williams, who had cancer
Awesome.
and who passed away from cancer in 2000.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. That's where I started my journey, on how to give back to the people that had cancer, not knowing that 13 years later in 2013 that I was going to be diagnosed with breast cancer myself. And that's where the journey and the passion was driven more to helping those who had cancer. And that's how I started Dawn of a New Day. It started 8 years ago. For the first 5 years, I funded, the program by myself out of my own pockets. And within the last 4 years, I started asking, doing fundraisers and looking in different avenues for donations. But my goal is always to empower those who were like me, kind of silenced, a little afraid. Um, those who didn't have anyone shoulder to lean on. After my mom passed away, I have family, but I felt alone.
Right.
And then after my diagnosis, I had, 5 children that I had to take care of and manage, and not knowing how I was going to do that, but knew God would make a way.
Right.
But, just starting, talking to people and listening to people and trying to figure out how can I help them not feel afraid, not feel alone. And that's how Dawn of a New Day started. And we have fundraisers, events every October. We have one coming up October 9th through the 11th in Portland, Oregon. And we celebrate, we raise funds, we celebrate survivors, loved ones that we've lost as well. Right now, my organization, we have 20 people that are in need of some type of resource. And it's very hard to take care of everyone. You can't do it all.
Are
So
you are you connect with any other organization that deals with cancers? There are a lot of organizations out there. Or have you tried networking or connecting with those organizations?
I have not. Um, I just started this. Well, for the last 3 years, we just really started being a charitable 501c3,
Great, great.
organization. We were doing it by ourselves before, but now we're actually charitable, to be able to be in a position to get or apply for different types of grants, fundings, but I have a pretty good group of friends that I always reach out to, and they've never let me down. They always seem to help me out, so we always manage to have ample resources for our survivors and their families.
Very good. Shirley Walden says, praise the Lord, everyone. And Shirley Walden is saying that she shared. Again, I'm going to encourage if you're watching to share this right here. There are a lot of organizations that are addressed. There are local organizations here in Indianapolis addressing. And I always tell people you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So I'm asking someone, if someone's watching this program and you like to partner with Monica, please reach out to her. How could a person get in contact with you if they wanted to partner with you?
Well, there's a few ways that they can get in touch with me with my email. Um, it's Daw of a New Day, number 7 at Gmail.
Okay, how are you spelling that?
It's DAWOFAN
Mm-hmm. DAWOF.
Yes, OFAN. I forgot. Look, that's terrible. I don't even see my own. It's DAWAN. Yeah.
DOW. DAW. Is that OF still there?
Do you want me to put it in the chat? Would it be
Yeah, go ahead and
easier?
put it in the chat.
Yes. Then it'll be easier for me to, because I can never.
Sometimes you kind of when you know that you're out there, it's kind of difficult, and I have that sometimes happen. So we'll get to that. But we want to let people know who want to maybe support you, know how they can get in contact with you. Also, you can tell them about your event that you have in October. So we're saying, someone said, well, October is a little ways off. But I remember my wife started talking about the convention. We remember talking about last year, the convention's going to be here next year. And then we talked about the next thing, it's come and gone. So
Yes.
it's,
Yeah, that's correct. And that's the reason why I always start right in June for our fundraisers.
Right.
Taking, looking or seeking for grant, donations, so that you can get an ample idea of what you have. And then we start distributing them back from November to, April. We'll start distributing out the funding until they're all gone. And then if we exhaust our fundings out, we'll know how much more we need to come up with, or fundraise with for the rest of the people. But we only can take so many. And right now, we normally do 5 people at a time. But this year, I don't know what it was, but everyone was in need of help, just in need of help. And we did 10 last year, and this year, hoping and praying that we can actually take care of all 20 people. I mean, we have a very major family that their sister is going into surgery next week, and what do you do when you have no resources and you have no help? And I know I'm only one person; I can't help everyone, but I wished I could. If I had millions, I would help everyone. But
I think we would. Tara Phelps Jones, congratulations, my good friend from St. Louis. She says, praise the Lord, everyone. I did send your email. I put your email in there. Those saying as many hands make light work. My prayer is that you're able to be successful, not only 20 that you can, maybe someone on this program would reach out to you
Yeah.
and assist you, because a lot of times people don't understand the challenges that people have. Sometimes as women, especially when it comes to breast cancer, they're a single head of house. And when they go down, there's no other resources, because when they're going through the chemo, when they're going through the cancer, it awfully strips them of their energy. They're not able to work. And so there is a big need. And so let me see, Shirley Walton. Let me see, Shirley Walton says, "Thank you for sharing. It's my turn now. I'm a cancer survivor for over 20 years now. One of the things I did was to read healing scriptures every morning."
Yeah.
So I thank my wife, since she is a 20 plus year cancer survivor. And I've had a lot of people contact me and say, "Your wife was such a blessing to me," because I guess she just does in silence. But they said when I was going through it, she sent me books, healing books that were very encouraging. Again, there are a lot of things that can be done to help people. If you know someone who's going through cancer, breast cancer, any other cancer,
Mm-hmm.
it's important that you just take time, especially we as Christians, should have compassion and say, what can we do to help those individuals? With cancer, again, it affects so many different people, so many different type of cancer. Again, breast cancer is very serious. And I've known, the reason why I said I've known, Sister Wallen was blessed. She had me to support. She had a good, strong support system. And that means a lot. There was a young lady that was diagnosed with cancer at the same time as my wife, and she worked at AT&T. She was not able to work. She tried to work because she had no other, and she ended up passing on. Her life expectancy. So it's important that we have those resources. It's important that we work together. Healing scriptures are so encouraging. Thank
Yeah.
you, Dr. Phelps. Healing scriptures are so encouraging. And when you're going through that, you need something positive. You need to surround yourself
Yeah.
with positive people. So, what are some of the events that you're going to have in October?
Well, in October we do have a 30-year cancer survivor that comes and will come and speak to us during our luncheon. We would have a Friday night service, which is a meet and greet for those who are coming far.
Mm-hmm.
And Saturday is our luncheon. And Sunday we have a men's panel who will come and talk. Just all men talking about their cancer journeys, because
Right,
a lot of times men don't talk about cancer. And sometimes people think men can't have breast cancer, but they can.
right,
And cancer itself, last year we did an all cancer awareness. It didn't matter if you had whatever cancer it was, we celebrated you. We gave out awards and we gave out certificates, and our fundings we gave out to all of those that participated. And we had a luncheon as well, and we had T-shirts and water bottles and cup, all different types of things we gave out. Now, it does cost $70 to register, but we gave out a lot of gifts as well. But I wanted to touch bases on what you said in regards to the healing scriptures.
mhm,
Sometimes it's really good to have those scriptures, but the enemy will come to your mind and tell you you're going to die.
true.
It's not always easy to pick up a scripture and say, but God said I'm healed, because he's working on the mind. The enemy works on the mind.
As-
And that brings me to my book. That's the reason why I wrote the book called Hello Beautiful, because in the process,
Go ahead, hold the book up a little bit more so we can see it. We
oh,
can't see the whole book.
yeah, it's called Hello Beautiful.
Hello, people. I like that. Hello. Also, Sis Walton said, is there a cash app we can donate to for the work you're doing? Very
Yeah,
thank you, Sis Walton.
yes,
Because we
yeah,
want, Sis Walton and I, we're definitely going to donate. If anybody else wants, please put your cash app up there.
yeah. You want me? I'll put it in the chat. You want me to just put it in the chat,
Please do.
the cash app? And yeah, so in the process of the book deals with more of the mindset of having cancer than just having cancer itself. Because when someone tells you you have cancer, you don't hear anything else. You hear in the back of your mind you're going to die.
Right.
Um, and considering, my mom passed away in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Technology have changed. Technology have changed since I've had cancer 13 years ago. But that process, you're thinking, my mom didn't make it, so I'm not going to make it. So the book talks about really the mindset of what we deal with. Every little bump, bruise, not feeling well, you just assume your cancer is bad. So it's the mindset.
It is
You know, the
my
enemy love to play with the mind. You're not going to make it out. And that's how the enemy told me several times, you're not going to make it. 3 o'clock in the morning when it's really quiet, he would always come and say, you're going to die. So the last time he came to me and he said that, and I woke up and I said, well, you didn't get me this time. So you should have got me when you had a chance, because now you didn't have a chance. You don't have a chance anymore. So I had to realize I have to speak to my mind and tell myself, not today, devil. You know, it is my turn, and we will not be defeated by the enemy. And that was my goal and my passion. And I said, if as long as I have breath in my body, I would always tell someone else. I would always encourage someone else that you can make it just as much as I did. Because God is not a respecter person. He
Amen.
healed me, he will heal you, you know, and keep going, keep going. But we have to encourage ourselves with scriptures, with prayer, just encountering and surrounding yourself with people
So
who believe that you'll make it. Not with people who think, well, you don't look like you have cancer. Well, what does cancer look like? What does looking like having cancer look like? Am I supposed to be down and out and sad and falling over? And then you'll say, well, are you really sick? Do you really need help? No, a cancer survivor or someone who with cancer do not need anybody's opinion.
right.
All we need is a listening ear and
Amen.
saying, I'm praying for you. That's all we need.
Right. I deal with grief and counseling. I share with people the importance of, again, and sometimes it's sad, but sometimes people will say, you know what, I know someone else that had this right here, and they have. But what you said was very important. I had a sister that passed 10 years ago with cancer. 10 years ago, I was there when the doctor told her that she had 3 to 4 months to live, and that was a very, very sad time for me. It's mainly for her. But I knew someone else that had the exact same type of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And because of progression of science, they
Mm-hmm.
said had they had that 10 years ago, their prognosis would have been the same. But
Yes,
with advancement in science, it's so far advanced now that they're
yes.
able to do more and more with cancer. So if someone's on here and someone's saying, well, I knew someone else had the exact same thing, everyone's cancer is not the same. And everyone's prognosis does not have to be the same. There are so many variables that affect a person's diet, a person's mental state. All these variables affect the person healing, and there's mental health. When you have support, a strong support system, they help as well.
Yes, yes. No, I definitely agree with that. And that's what I had to tell myself as well, not to compare myself with my mother's cancer.
Right,
Um, my brother had cancer and my best friend had cancer, and they passed away 1 month away from, from each other, 1 month apart. And
right,
I also said, well, God, hmm, I know you're not a respected person, and I'm still here,
right,
and they didn't make it. And then you wonder, sometimes you think, and that again, it goes to the mindset.
right.
What did you do? You didn't do anything any different. But I had to learn. Just say thank God for allowing me to still be here. Some reason why I'm still here to bring a voice to the disease. It's not a great thing to have, but it can be durable. But we have to trust God in the process of everything that we go through, because the enemy will work on your mind. He will beat your mind down so bad to where you can't get up. You don't want to get up. You think that the disease will take you over, and it's not always the case. So for me, I think God to God be the glory for all that He's done, for me, through me, and just encountering people who have had cancer, knowing that hey, the journey may be harsh and it may be scary, but we still have a voice to empower someone else, and that's my goal.
And that's so true. Your goal in writing the book. Tell us some more about your book that you wrote. and how
So
you're
the
going to write it.
so the book that I wrote, the Hello Beautiful, as I showed you, before, it's in regards to those who have cancer, but it's to provide hope, faith, and to let them know that even though you've had an element, your journey is still not over. And
Right.
you're still beautiful. You're still beautiful, even though we might have to have a, alteration in, appearance at times. You're still here. So we still have a reason to fight. You still have a reason to keep going. And it's not over. I mean, I hear so many people, because sometimes sometimes you lose your hair.
Right.
Sometimes it's not easy to lose a hair that you've had for what, depending on
Right.
how old you are. It's not easy to lose a part of your body that you've had attached to you for so long. And to provide something else,
Hmm.
it's not an easy journey. So it messes up the mindset. It can mess up your appearance, and you will think that you're not beautiful,
Right.
but you are beautiful. Absolutely. Inside and out, you're beautiful, and never let anyone tell you different. And that's the journey. That's what the book is about. My second book that is coming out in October, Suffering in Silence. It's about grief, it's about trauma, depression, the rejection
Right.
and the hidden pain, you know, but reminding people that they do not have to suffer alone.
Very
There's
good.
someone here to listen to you.
Yeah, I've written a number of books on that as well. But one of the things you said is quite important is that I like the topic, You're Beautiful, because I remember just talking to someone, my wife and I was talking to someone a couple weeks ago who went through cancer treatment and they're bald headed. And I told them,
Hmm.
I said, you're rocking that look, and it made them feel better. And they were really rocking that look. I mean, God has a way of making us beautiful in the midst of our pain, in the midst of our
Yes.
hurt. And this person, in the midst of losing their hair, they were still beautiful. And I think the enemy would take, look at you, you're not what you used to be. You're not this right here.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that a person recognizes that the beauty they have. Sister Walton said, you are beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on here, please share your thoughts with us. Let us know. We have a few more minutes. How can they get your book if they want a copy of your book? How can they get it?
Well, and the books there, well, the Hello Beautiful is on Amazon, and I do have some here at home.
Mm.
If for those who don't do Amazon, I do. You can get in touch with me as well. And the Suffering in Silence, it will be out October, no later than October 1st. The goal is, because it's in reference, and it's a reference to my brother who
Okay.
committed suicide. So
Yeah.
his birthday is in August. So I would love to get it out by August, but if not, no later than October for sure.
You
Um,
know, you mentioned suicide, and that's another area that I had someone call me just Saturday, said, someone was contemplating suicide. Well, I talked to them, so I talked to them for a long time on Saturday, talking them out of suicide, out of committing suicide. And
mm,
they called me again and said, well, they said, I want to talk to that gentleman that spoke to me on Saturday.
yes.
People are hurting. Uh, I wrote a book called Can You See My Pain? Sometimes we don't see people's pain. I think one of the hardest things for a person to deal with is someone close to them died and they did not see it. I just had someone else share that with me just on last week. Someone very close to them died. They said they were smiling. They saw no signs of that person even thinking of suicide
Right.
until it happened. So I think a lot of times, and so I think my goal is to teach people that we don't want people to feel like they have to suffer in silence. And I think one of the things we have to address issues. I will say this right. Anytime I deal with the issue of suicide, I always tell people it's okay to ask a person, "Are you thinking about committing suicide?" Sometimes people are afraid to ask someone, "Are you thinking about committing suicide?" If I ask them, then that's going to cause them to do it. But no, it lets them know that you're thinking about them. Let them know that someone cares. So I would encourage them to, if you see someone, check on people. A lot of times, people are going through things. We need to check on people. And so I applaud you for your book. I thank you for the program that you're going through, and I thank you for just taking the time to be on this program tonight. I met you. We talked about a number of different subjects. I talked about grief and loss. Also, you shared with me if you were the first one. I've had a lot of people to purchase my book, and a lot of people at the convention purchased it. And you were the first one to reach out to me
Yes.
and tell me. And so I'm going. So this is for my audience. This is my book.
Yep.
It's called Sex. Oh, she's got it. She's got it. Tell them they need to get their copy.
Yes.
And share with the audience a little bit what you share with me in reading the book.
It's really surviving life stories, right? And it's healing, but it's something more to where churches need to talk more about the things that we go through. And I feel that this book explains everything that we went through, thought something was wrong with us,
Mm-hmm.
and realized it's nothing wrong. There's
Right.
nothing wrong. But we heal. There was hitting struggles through truth and grace.
Right.
Get the book. Please get the. You will not be disappointed. You will not be disappointed. You will say, "Why didn't?" And it has such great reflections in the back. I love it. And all I can say is, "Wow!" Someone thought of something that you were thinking, but didn't think to say it out because you wasn't sure how to go about saying it. He spoke it for you. He spoke it for you.
Thank you.
Spoke it for you. So you will be very enlightened about. And it's don't let the title fool you, and don't let just because you see a beautiful woman on the page, don't let your mind go there. But it will go there. But you'll know why it went there.
Right.
So get the book. So great job. Great job.
Thank you. I appreciate hearing that. I'm encouraging whoever's on here to
Yes.
if you haven't purchased a book, the ebook is on Amazon. The paper book is not. You can contact me. You can inbox me, call me, let me know if you want a copy. The paperback should be on Amazon within the next week, week and a half or so. But if you'd like to get one ahead of time, just reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to give you the book. But I did want to talk about the book because I think it's a very important book to be read. It's an important book for the body of Christ. And again, I try to address issues that people just don't address. So one of the things people said, well, why did you write the book? And you notice it's S-E-X-E, not X-E-X-Y.
Right.
And so I deal with a number of areas right there. Let me see. I deal with it. It deals with education, exposure, empowerment, encouragement. And so it deals with a number of areas in the church that address, and myself personally, I deal with people from a lot of different levels, from business, from a spiritual, from a social level, from a therapeutic level. And I think that anyone age 17 and older ought to read the book. I think it's going to help them. It's going to help them to look at themselves differently. One of the goals was breaking the silence. We don't talk about it. It's breaking silence. And one of the things about the church cannot heal what it refuses to discuss. And we don't discuss it. And a lot of times people are dealing with issues and they're afraid to discuss it. And sometimes they don't know who to discuss it with. So I write that book to create an avenue where people can have an open dialogue. I was fortunate I had a number of pastors when we were at the convention who bought the book. After looking at the book, they said, hey, I want our number of these right here so I can do a class to teach a class on it. And one of the things I decided, it took about 3.5 years to write this. There's a workbook that's in the making, a workbook for this right here, because I want to encourage people to be able to just deal with life in general. This is just a part of life in general. So sexuality has been, I wrote, one of the least discussed, yet most struggle with topics in many churches. Silence has often produced shame, secrecy, and unnecessary suffering. This book opens a biblical conversation that many believers have needed for years. And so we got to be willing to address those issues. So I'm going to encourage you to get your copy. Then we have to realize too, secondly, is God's design for sexuality. Sex is not simple. Misusing God's gift is. The book reminds readers that sexuality was created by God, not by culture, rather than allowing Hollywood and social media or popular opinion and define sexuality. Scriptures provide the blueprint for the healthy relationships, intimacy, purity, and marriage. And so a lot of times what we do is we let society, dictate to us, create the blueprint for us, but it should be something that's addressed in the church. I'm hoping that we can find ways of addressing this in a tasteful manner, classes to address it, because this is why I said 17 and over. I could almost say 16. I mean, the people's exposure to sexuality is coming at an earlier and earlier age. And listen, the truth of the matter is, the things that are happening, in regarding that, even in the school, there's so many different dynamics. I remember I was substitute teaching, and there are things that are happening that wasn't happening. I remember I was substitute teaching, and I'm walking as a teacher. I'm kind of older guy, I'm walking and I'm seeing two girls holding hands, two guys hugging up. Sexuality has changed, and we have to address those issues. We cannot be afraid to address those issues. And if we don't, the school is going to dictate. Our friends, our different people are going to shape our thoughts, and the church has to be in the forefront, because too long we've not addressed. So that's another reason. Healing instead of shame. There are some people who have dealt with issues, and people have problems in the church. I wrote a book called The Eye of the Believer. I write in The Eye of the Believer. The four gospel writers saw Jesus from different dynamics. They saw different views of Jesus, but they all saw the same Jesus. We want to put everybody in the same box. Everybody is not in the same box. Everybody, when they come to holiness, everybody doesn't have the same attitude. Everybody doesn't have the same experiences. And we have to be aware of that. And we have to make those adjustments, and people have to be educated. One of the things I share is when people get married, there needs to be a talk. When I'm counseling, premarital counseling, those are areas that I address. I address sexual attitudes and sexual thoughts, because a lot of times people don't address that. And those are some areas that need to be addressed. So I think if you've read it, everything is done in a very tasteful manner, a very professional manner, but in such a way that is helpful to the reader. And I like what you said. If they read it, they'll get something out of it. Everybody should read that.
Yeah.
You have any other comment that you want?
I just want to say that in regards to, what we were talking about, just in case someone's listening and maybe they have a diagnosis, or maybe, they know someone, that had a diagnosis, just know that no matter what we are facing, and it doesn't have to be a cancer diagnosis, right? It could be anything that we're facing. Mm-hmm. God is still writing your story.
Right.
And beautiful things can still bloom regardless of what we're going through. And that's what I want to leave with everyone today. No matter what, don't look at it as being a life sentence. Look at it as being a new beginning, and we have to accept it sometimes and find the good in what we're facing.
Very good. Also, we do have your Cash App on the screen. We have your Cash App. And tell us those dates of your event. Tell us the dates when you.
Yep, it's actually October is October 9th through the 11th, and it's turning pain into purpose.
Turning pain.
We're in Portland, Oregon, and it's going to be the 11th or the 9th. October 9th is that Friday. It starts at 6 p.m. On Saturday, the luncheon starts at 1, and on Sunday, the service starts at 3.
Okay.
And we have survivors coming from North Dakota, Ohio, Tennessee, a few in Wisconsin, and just local.
Anyone from Indiana?
Yes, Indiana.
You do have someone from Indiana?
Yes, yep.
Awesome.
Have two. Yeah, I actually have two from Indiana. So
Okay.
so we're excited. We're excited, and their need. A lot of their families. Some are coming in place of their family that can't travel.
Very good.
They're too sick, so they're standing in the gap for them.
Great.
And some will be on Zoom as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes our Zoom platform is a little rocky because our connections are not the greatest, so we do lose our Zoom connections. So I'm hoping.
Hopefully you get the resources this year.
Yes.
You can get the best possible Zoom next. But listen, I want to thank you. I appreciate your time. Again, give us a date and location of that again.
Yes, October 9th through the 11th, Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And if you don't know where Portland, Oregon is, it's right next to, Seattle, Washington, so to speak, like 3 hours from Seattle, Washington.
Right.
Everybody knows where Seattle is.
I had the pleasure of going to Portland, Oregon, and I enjoy it. It's good seafood there and good people. Yeah. I enjoy myself, and again, I pray that your programs are successful. Yes. Please feel free to reach back to us and let us know, what we can do to help you. Those who are on here, don't forget, if you want to be a blessing to Monica, please cash app her. If you have her email on here, if you want to have other questions, feel free to reach out to her through her email. I think it's a very good program. Again, I want to encourage you to network with someone else. Maybe if you have a cancer survivor program, maybe you want to network with her. Maybe you want to just give her some information to share some experience with you going through. But I think we can make each other stronger by working together. So I pray that others will reach out to you. I don't know if you want to give out your number. Is there a number you want to give out? That's up to you if you want to do that.
Yeah, no, sure. I can you want me to put it in the chat?
Okay, go ahead and give it to me because you're okay. What is it?
It's 360 798
798.
Yes, 3326.
3326. Okay. Now this is her number. She's putting a number in there. That's for those who are interested in supporting, encouraging. If you want information, if you want some literature, she can give you that literature as well. So again, we thank you for taking the time to be on the program. I thank you for supporting my book. I will be purchasing your book. I'm looking forward to your new book. And thank you for your comment. It meant a lot for you because you're the first one. I've heard people who have read the first part and they say, "Oh, I like what I read," but you actually took the time to read through the book, and I certainly appreciate it. Yes. And God bless you. And I want you to stay in touch. All right. Take care. Thanks again for joining us on this program.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. God bless you. Again, we thank you for watching this portion. I thank Monica for just reaching out. Thank her for her support. That's a tremendous program when we're dealing with cancer and cancer survivors. I think that's something we need to take serious. Again, I try to address issues that I think are important. Sometimes the church, we don't focus on a lot of areas in the church other than coming to church, praise the Lord. And I'm all for praise the Lord. I believe in shouting, having a good time. But from my experience in counseling people are dealing with real life issues. And I think that's the reason why a lot of young people are shying away from the church, because they do not see the authenticity of church where we're actually dealing with issues. So that's the purpose of this program, is to deal with issues. That's why I wrote this book. And so one of the things I decided to just take the time to just share with you my book, because a lot of times a lot of people saw sexy in the church. Wow, what is sexy in the church? What is that all about? I just wanted to just give you an idea, an overview of why I felt led to write the book. I started the book about 3.5 years ago, and God just dealt with me to write the book. I cover a number of areas. Let me share some of the titles, some of the subjects. Why believers fall, understanding the root of infidelity. And so we don't want to talk about, but there is infidelity in church. Sometimes we see people, they seem like they're strong, they're solid in the church, and then you hear where they're infidelity. I addressed that. Desire, delay, and the cost of taking shortcuts. Why some Christians struggle while others do not. Some people have no problem with struggling when it comes to dealing with the flesh, when it comes to sexuality. But then some people struggle. Why is it that, you might ask, why am I struggling when other people are struggling? And so that's the issue. Understanding the struggle. People are struggling. Also, I deal with shifting standards. There are shifting standards when it comes to how we view sexuality. One of the things when I wrote the book, it took me some time, and I put a lot of thought, even in the cover, a lot of thought, because there are certain. I did research on it with different demographics, and the young people had no problem with the cover. The young people said the cover could have been more revealing, but the older people feel like it's just on the edge. And so the views on sexuality between young people and older people are totally different. They're totally different. And we have to be aware of that. The church, we have to be aware of the very. Then we said when power and lust combine. Sometimes there are power dynamics in the church. A lot of times we read and find in church where sometimes those who are in leadership position take advantage of those who are not in leadership. So I discussed that. And sometimes there are times in church where there are individuals that have a seducing spirit that will seduce the leadership. There was in the city where there was a lady that was called herself the preacher killer. She delighted in trying to pull men down, specifically married men. And so, we have to be aware that these things are happening. We act like it don't happen, but it does happen. When sin affects the community, my body is not my enemy. Singleness and social media, navigating desire. So I deal with a chapter here addressing singles. Sometimes we once you've been married for a while, you don't think about the challenges of single folks. But single folks have challenges, and they have a lot of challenges because there's so much out there. So social media affects the mind. Social media affects the way we think. So, if someone has a question, I'm giving the opportunity to discuss, to share your questions with me right now. If you have a question, please feel free to type the question in, and I want to address that. I talk about wounds. We don't talk about this. Some people have been wounded in church, and they don't want to talk about. So there are a lot of things that if you read this book, you'll find. Sexual addiction. Why, when desires become your master. There are some people who are sex addicts. Because you're saved doesn't mean that you're not tempted. Scripture, unto him that's able to keep you from falling and present you faultless. Yes, but doesn't mean you don't have desire. And so, people, we just have to, saying is we have to keep it real, and we're not keeping it real. Some of us are not keeping it real. Some people just have sexual desire. And some people just sensuous, some people just have an allure of sexuality about themselves. They can't help it. And, there may be those who say, what's wrong with him? What's wrong? Sometimes people just can't help it. That's that spirit, and God has to help them with that. So we have to talk about these subjects. If I want somebody to tell me, if you don't hear and you think that I'm on the right path, give me an amen or a heart, or say something. Let me know that you're in agreement. Maybe you say, well, Bishop Walton, you've gone a little bit too far today, Dr. Walton. That's a little bit too far. And that's okay if that's the way that you feel. But by and large, the response that I have gotten have been very positive. It's amazing. people are so afraid to address sexuality in church. A lot of times, those who are looking at my book, they look around, and then they say, "I think I'll buy a book." Why is it that we have to be afraid to discuss this? So you can purchase your own book, and you can read the book at home. You don't have to read out in public, but I guarantee that the book will be a blessing to you. You have my guarantee that the book will be a blessing to you. Sexy in the Church. It involves education, empowerment. Is so much that it involves that you will find that the book will be a blessing to you. I guarantee you the book will be a blessing to you. It will cover areas that you may not have thought about. Again, I have reflections, reflection guide in the back of the book. We deal with sexual predators. There are sexual predators in the church. We have to be aware of that. You have to be just, if you have a church and you're dealing with insurance tell you, we didn't have to have the type of insurance in the past we have now. Now, churches have to have insurance to deal with sexual predators. Listen, it's out there. The world knows it. The insurance company knows it. It's time for us, the church, to recognize it. There's a chapter 14. Why do preachers get caught up in sexual sin? I talk about that. We all know somebody somehow or sometime has gotten caught up in sexual sin. I talk about leadership, failure, and abuse. So there's a lot on here. I think, again, sexy in the church. You would definitely want to add this. Any pastor would definitely want to add this to your library. We have a few more minutes. I want to share, we just recently had our Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. We had our convention, and it was an awesome convention. We were blessed to host it in Indianapolis, Indiana. And not only did we host it this year, but we'll be hosting next year. And those of you that are on here who were at the PAW convention, I'd like to know what your thoughts were. I've heard a lot of positive things about it. We just had our election of new officers. So we're going to have new officers. I think each new officer just about is brand new to that position. And so we're looking for an exciting time. Yes, are there going to be some changes? Sure, there are going to be some changes in PAW. But I always encourage people to get involved. If you got a question, get involved. If you want to see some changes, get involved. If you got a question that someone asked me, they told me I'd like to ask the new presider some questions. I said, well, maybe this is a format that you can leave your questions here and let us know what your questions are. Let us know what your concerns are. So Sean said, congratulations to Lady Walton. Yes, thank you. My wife is the new assistant treasurer of the International Ministerial Alliance. I'm so proud of her. She's a hard worker. So Dr. Harrison has a tremendous asset. I think her entire board, she has a tremendous board. So Rachel Brooks is outstanding. There are a number of other ladies that are on that board, and I think they're going to represent the Ministers' Wives and Widows Alliance. I think they will do a fantastic job. Also, a shout out to Bishop Harrison, who is celebrating his birthday on today. Happy birthday. If you know Bishop Harrison, shout out to him. Happy birthday to him. And so there's some exciting things that happen. Anytime there's a change in administration, there are going to be some challenges, and we have to pray through those challenges. We have to speak out, say what we can do, and we have to address those issues in the most positive light. There are some times that everybody's not going to agree with what happened. Yours truly ran for office. I ran and as assistant secretary, but Sister Patricia Bowers Daniels won, and I applaud Sister Patricia. I've known her for years. Outstanding sister. So I have no regret, because at the end of the day, it's the will of God. And when we understand the will of God, we're we're comfortable with whatever God's will is. And my desire is to continue to help the PAW, to support them. A lot of changes. Bishop Donald Golder, he will be the new Dawson Bishop for the state of Indiana. I support him. There's a lot of change. Scripture says, song says, life is full of swift transition. There are a lot of changes. Either you can go with the changes or not. And so, I choose to accept the changes, do what I can do to improve things. Again, I'm willing to support whatever way I can. I think we as a body of Christ, we've got to get. Yeah, do we agree with everything? Most people know me. I don't agree with everything, but I do try to support. Again, we look at the highlights. The brotherhood. We have some tremendous leaders in the brotherhood. The women's ministry. I think the first vice president, Tyra Phelps, was on here giving her comment. Very outstanding doctor, woman of God. Sister Tamara Golder. She is second for the women's ministry. She's out of Indiana. And so Indiana still has been represented. Sister Patricia Cox is the treasurer for the ushers. So we're thankful. Bishop Jeffrey Brandon, assistant secretary for the foreign mission. So Indiana was well represented. We thank God for them and their representation. I'm sure they will do an outstanding job. And so encourage each of those persons, encourage them. And Sister Jones, thank you. You always are so positive. I thank God for your positivity. I do intend to have in the future, to have the new presiding bishop. I've already talked to him. I'm going to have him on the show, and I'd like to have him and the former presiding bishop, Bishop Theodore Brooks, who has been on the program a number of times. He's no stranger to this program. And to have them talk about the transition, to share their goals, share their ideals, and share their vision with us right here on this platform. It's my turn now, where we always give everyone an opportunity to just let us know what's on your mind, let us know what your thoughts are. And, each week I hear compliments. People call me, inbox me, text me. I've actually received mail from people mailing me cards and Dr. Walden, this program has really been encouraging. I try to address those issues that I think are relevant to the body of Christ, issues that sometimes we just do not discuss, and I'm okay with that. And so if there's something that you would like to discuss, you would like to talk about, please let us know. The other thing, the convention, I just enjoy fellowship. And one of the things I try to do at every convention, I try to meet at least 2 or 3 new people. And I've had friends for years, friends for 25, 30, 35 years that I've actually met at the convention. And I think, we have such a tremendous body of Christ. And I think it's important that we just take advantage, learn how to recognize each other, learn how to love each other, learn how to appreciate one another. And I just enjoy myself tremendously because it's about fellowshipping. The classes were outstanding. The seminar, lady Dr. Barbara Golder did an outstanding job. Give applause to Dr. Golder. She did a tremendous job leading the ministers' wives and widows alliance. She had a breakfast on one day. My wife was there and she was involved. My daughter, she even got involved. So many people. She had an outstanding board of ladies, even from Indiana, Sister Missy Faulkner, Sister Deborah Menora, Sister Baker, my wife as a treasurer, and so many other individuals who worked together, worked hard. So I saw them work hard to prepare for this convention, to make this convention memorable convention for the Ministers' Wives and Widows Alliance. So I'm looking forward for great things to come. And so again, if you enjoy watching this program, feel free to give us some hearts. Let us know that you enjoy it. And don't forget to share it. Let your friends know about It's My Turn Now. Every week we try to bring something exciting, something informative, something educational, and something that is enjoyable. And if you enjoy it, let us know. I appreciate those who often respond to the program. I don't know about you. The convention was outstanding. However, you're looking at one tired brother. I'm tired. Especially when you're hosting the convention, it's a lot. I want to give a shout out to uh, Bishop Charles Fennell, our previous diocesan, who ended his tenure at the end of convention, for hosting this convention. That's tremendous responsibility. Him and Lady Fennell. Want to give a shout out to them. Thank God for you, and pray God's continued blessings for you all as well. So Sean said you would do a great job in teaching any of the classes. Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind. I do enjoy teaching. I do. That's a gift that God's given. I love teaching. And I'm working on a class for this right here. So, we just have to put it out there, Sister Sean. There's so much, and you do a tremendous job when it comes to help and reaching out. And it's time for me to get you on the show as well. Again, those who, if you watch this program, you enjoy this program, feel free to share with your friends and family. If you have, there are a lot of people who oftentimes will share with me that, hey, I would like to hear this subject, and I'm open to any subject. Again, before I go, I want to remember those individuals. Like I said, I talked to someone who is contemplating suicide. It's a serious issue. Suicide is serious. Check on your family, check on your friends. Let them know that you care about them. Let them know that you're concerned. Don't just assume that they care about you. Take the time to reach out and let them know. Your family, your friends. Sometimes there are older people that don't have any family and friends. Reach out to them, call them up, text them, let them know that you care about them. Let them know that you're praying for them. They also want to remember those who have passed. Just recently, there's a number of people who have passed. One of the deacon trustees, Deacon Boykins at Christ Temple, his funeral is Wednesday. Brother Stanley Word, his funeral, I'm not sure when his funeral is, but he passed. But remember those families, remember them in prayer. We have to pray for one another. Listen, I'm not gonna keep you any longer. It's been a long week, a long event. We were at the convention all week long, and again, we had a tremendous time. But everyone I talked to said they needed rest, so I'm resting. Again, I want to remind you that you can get the ebook. The ebook is on Amazon. The paperback book, you'll have to reach out to me to get the paperback book. I'll be more than happy. I think I haven't had a book signing. This is book number 26. I have not had a official book signing. When I do seminars, I do book signings out of town, a lot of different places, but I haven't had an official book signing in Indianapolis in about 18 years, approximately 18 years. So I think I'm due for another book signing. So if you would like me to come and do a book signing for you or some event, please reach out to me. I would be more than happy to do that. Listen, I'm Gary. Get out of here. We love you. God bless you. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of It's My Turn Now. Don't forget to share it. We love you. God bless you. Have a blessed week, and just allow God to just have his way in your life. Don't forget to reach out to someone. Tell someone that you love them. Tell someone you're praying for them. God bless you.